Hey guys, what's going on? So tonight we have Twisted Chris and Zohar here. We're going to be talking about this Pro line and this idea. The Pro line just came out, and already we need to speculate about what the next Pro line cab could be. But we could kind of split this into two, right? There's the what Arcade1up is going to come out with. That's kind of a thing. And another thing is like what should they come out with, which may not be the same thing. So I think, Chris, you wanted to start. You had some things that you wanted to talk about on the Pro line, just in general, right? What's your thoughts on it?
Well, first off, we'll start off with the Killer Instinct. Okay, so the 699 Killer Instinct. Okay, what I think they should have did was, since they released the 699 one, right? It's the KI1 artwork, right? And then they announced the Pro, and it's the KI1 artwork. What they should have did was, when they released the Pro, have KI2 artwork.
Oh.
Then people might have said, oh, I'm not going to cancel that pre-order. Now I can have KI1, KI2 arcade machines, and then like the 699, you can run Killer Instinct 1. And the Pro, you could run Killer Instinct 2. So then you got both machines. You know what I mean? And it would be different. That would be pretty neat.
That's an interesting way to do it. I hadn't thought of that, but I guess they could have done that. But I maybe that would have been a little bit of struggle, because here's the thing. Whatever they do, someone's always going to complain. Like, for example, you could complain right now, why didn't they do KI2 artwork? And then someone else would have been like, wait a second. Why are they doing it all weird? Like, it should have been exactly the same as the non-pro version, You can always have their, different opinions on it.
Yeah. And, another thing people need to realize is that John D might have ideas, correct?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
But that doesn't mean all his ideas go in and are agreed on. This is a company. It's not ran by John D. It's not ran by one person. Not one guy is making all the decisions. So say if he has an idea for something, right? You should have did this, or we should have did that, right? Well, he might get slapped and said, nope, we're not going to do that. We're going to go this way. And he can't do nothing about it. So people need to realize that if something doesn't come out the way they want it, don't blame John D, because he might not have nothing to do with it.
Damn, I should stop blaming John D then.
No, it's true. It's true. Like, even we watched that video, right? You watched it, Chris. Like, the Unqualified Critics, he was talking to Jerry, and it was very clear that, like, even Jerry was the one that was saying no to a lot of things. And I think the battle that Jerry was having, I think he was referring to John, because John clearly is the one that's most involved and communicates with the community and gets feedback. And we hear John on different shows repeating back what the general community is saying, right? And it's kind of an echo chamber in a way, though, because, of course, we in this hyper-focused community are going to love all the things that John says back to us, right? And I think that's the argument they have, right? They have an argument that, like, well, they don't represent the larger group. But I think we got to talk about the elephant in the room, and that is Zohar, and this entire Mortal Kombat, right? Like, what this is what I want to know from you, Zohar. Like, should they come out with a Pro line MK?
I mean, I don't even like Mortal Kombat. For me, it's always been Street Fighter, so I'm waiting on that Street Fighter, But seriously, yeah. Well, you know what? For me, it's a little bit different. I pretty much have the Pro. I mean, Bobby Vu, to die for. He hooked me up on my birthday just a few months ago with a 20-inch screen, hat buttons, hat stick. So for me, I have the Pro. But what really I feel is missing is playing the online games. Obviously, we haven't played MK1, MK2, MK3 online. We have MK11, we have MK9, 10, all that. But it's been literally 3 decades, since we've played this game or these 3 games. So for me, it's the online for sure. Like, this is a huge deal for 1UP to do. The fact that it's here is mind-boggling for me. That, wow, okay, we're gonna actually play online like in the 90s. Okay, let's do it.
Interesting. So I wonder if the more appropriate topic is not necessarily pro line, is which cabinets should go online? Like which, and is it just limited to fighters? What do you guys think?
What do you mean? Elaborate.
Like, everyone's excited about online gameplay. Like, I think Rampage,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
is an interesting thing to play online. But what's, like if you look at the leaderboards, like, there's not a lot of people playing Puzzle Fighter, right? That's not.
Akuma Rev mentioned that on his show. Actually, to play Rampage online, that would be sick. Also, I know there are a lot of Rampage fans, that would love for this to happen. And like I said, Rev mentioned that on his show, so I think that's a big deal. And Tubin, I mean, I know I diss on Tubin, but it's a fun game to play against another person. And we didn't have that on Legacy, unless you had someone, obviously right beside you. But yeah.
What type of games would you want to see, Chris?
Probably the number 1 pro I would like to see. That, I don't know if it will come out pro, but I'm sure it will come out over time, is Daytona USA.
Now, so Daytona USA, if they did Daytona, like, what's your version of pro for Daytona?
Man.
$2,000.
Oh man, what I would like if it was a Daytona Pro, I guess it could be stand up or sit down. Sit down would be dope. Light up marquee, of course. Not the Christmas light crap, but it would be cool for link ups.
Oh, like but like local?
Yeah, like if you bought, like, I don't know, 2 or 4 of them, or even 8. And you can link them all up in your house, and you got 8 players at Daytona. That's how it was in the arcades with Daytona.
Right.
Now
John mentioned that in the past. He said, like, linkable cabs is definitely something that they were thinking about. So with Daytona, I mean, that's Dreamcast Naomi technology, right? Or Naomi. So
yeah,
I'm not even sure if their current hardware could handle it. But I mean, they could. I mean, if it's going pro and they got that type of funding, they could. There's hardware obviously that exists that can run that. It's not too hard to do, just not on the chipset they have. I could be wrong. Maybe the chipset can do it.
I know it can run on Raspberry Pi, no, can it run on Raspberry Pi? I know it can run on Hyperspin, because I used to have it on there and it run perfect.
Yeah.
But with their hardware, I don't know yet. It might be a while off if they do that.
But Zohar, if they did a Daytona, is that a game for you? Is that something that you'd want to get?
It's Dreamcast. I love Dreamcast games. Well, it's not really Dreamcast, it's arcade, but I think would have to do. They cannot do a 17-inch. If it's a pro, it has to be a much bigger screen. The rumble feature on the steering wheel, it can't be like Outrun. Have a friend, went to his house, played it. There's no rumble on that. I think Ridge Racer is going to have a rumble feature, but I doubt it's going to be of quality for that price. So if they're going to do a pro line for Daytona or for cruising, for any racing cab, the screen has to be bigger. It has to be sit down, and it has to have the proper quality rumble feel. Feel is everything, and the sound, of course, and the pedals have to be, it can't be like it is on Outrun right now.
So Chris, with the linkable idea, I mean, what if they don't do linkable, but it's online? So that
would be just as good. Yeah.
I mean, that would be kind of cool, right? Like, you could actually do competitions, like.
Yeah.
And would you do only Daytona? Like, what games would you put in Daytona?
I know they had Daytona. They had Daytona 2. So that's 2 games. Gosh, I don't know what else they could put in that. I'm trying to think.
Should put Mortal Kombat on it.
Mortal Kombat Racing?
Yeah.
But we did get owned in the chat, though. It was running on AM2.
Oh, AM2. Is that right? Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, Daytona 1 and Daytona 2. I don't know what else you could put on that.
What other Sega games are there that are racing?
Oh, they had
Super GT or something.
Virtual Racing. That was Sega.
Yeah. But it's Arcade1up. They're just gonna have one game, like they have to too. It's gonna be one game with a behind
That'll be the
scenes.
one game.
Yeah.
Sega Rally in the chat.
Oh,
Sega
that's
Rally.
actually.
Here we go.
That's a great one.
Yeah,
Crazy Taxi would be good.
That would be a good one too.
Man,
Crazy Taxi.
I don't know what would be more popular, Daytona or Crazy Taxi, though.
Yeah.
Put both of them on, and then it's done.
Yeah, but the artwork, which one?
Yeah, I think. See, I wouldn't mind. The Daytona sit down is a cool idea. A pro sit down that's also really interesting. I've heard a lot of people say a pro sit down is something that they would want. I never really. Yeah, I never really thought about it. Like, I came up with this dumb idea. Like, how do you get the enclosure over you? Are you really going to have their wood? So do you do like a tent or something like that? But that's a dumb idea. But I'd do a stand-up Crazy Taxi. That would be cool. Mm-hmm. But I can't see them putting Crazy Taxi and Daytona on the same cabinet. They can make so much money them separately. And people are going to want one versus the other. That's
true. They want to build an arcade gallery in their home. So they're going to definitely monopolize on that and just make it two. They may even do a Sega Rally one individually too, just for more money.
Yeah.
Right.
So, what about you, Zohar? What if you had your first pick? Your first pick for a pro line Arcade1up cabinet. You could pick any game other than Mortal Kombat. I'm gonna put you on the spotlight here. What do you?
No one is gonna want this game but me. But it's Run and Gun 2.
Run and Gun 2.
Yeah, it gets so much SHIT. It's in the shadows of NBA Jam, but people don't understand. You don't play a basketball game side scrolling. You play the basketball game in that third person view, so you could feel like you're in the action. The alley oops, the crossovers, all the moves. There's so much that goes into a basketball game that NBA Jam is just missing, and people just don't get it. But I'm saying Run and Gun 2, I would buy it day one. I'd probably be the only one to buy it, but that would be a sick cab. And Cruis'n USA too, but I don't know all that about Nintendo. I don't know, but Cruis'n will be a sick one. World, USA, Exotica. It almost fits 1UP's model, having like 3 games.
Right. So now there's one in the chat that I think would be my pick. Like, out of all the ones that are out there, I started thinking like, what would be like an instant buy? Just the instant buy. And I think there's a lot of people that would actually agree with this. It's that Sega Star Wars trilogy. Like, I mean, obviously the Star Wars that I have here is good, but I also think it's coming. I think it's like there's no way that Arcade1up has not floated that idea to both Sega and to Lucas, Disney, to be like, hey, we want to bring back this Sega Star Wars trilogy. I mean, I go to the movie theater and they still have them out there, like these Star Wars arcades. Out of all of the arcades that are local, that are modern, like that's a common, like the Star Wars pod. But to bring something newer than Atari, I mean, that people would pay. I think people would. I've heard people speculate that $1,200 would be the price for that.
Star Wars is such a moneymaker for them. It doesn't even matter what they do. Just slap on the Star Wars logo and it's over. I know 19K Fox wants it. I think even Papa Brad Gaming, he has a video on a Kongs R Us mod on his old Star Wars trilogy, and he made it into the current Star Wars trilogy, and it looks good. I think it would be insane. It would be done. Also, it would sell out instantly. It is such a moneymaker. Star Wars is such a everyone knows this. I mean,
Star Wars is like a franchise. Like if they brought, the Star Wars trilogy out on Arcade1up, and you set it up or whatever, it didn't even work, they would still smile. I mean, the fans are crazy, and I'm gonna get flack for this, but I don't like Star Wars. I never liked it. No, I watched Star Wars 1 and 2, loved it.
All right, so he's not in the show anymore.
Oh my God!
I'm kidding.
I'm kidding. Funny. That's hilarious.
Go ahead.
That's hilarious.
You were saying, Chris?
Oh, anyways, like I said, if they come out with Star Wars, it'll sell buttloads of it. They just will, just because of the name. Hardcore fans are on Star Wars. So,
is there anything that would get you to buy it? Like the shape, the size? Like, you don't think you would get it no matter what?
I just don't like the franchise. It's too overplayed. I mean, how many movies did they make? 50? already. I mean, kill it. You know.
So do you have Disney Plus or no? No Disney
I
Plus?
did, but I don't watch it anymore.
Okay.
I see. So, okay, Chris, I got one for you. So, if Blitz is coming out, let's say Blitz is coming out February or summer or sometime this year, let's just say.
Mm-hmm.
Would you, if you were Arcade1up, would you release it as a pro or non-pro?
Gosh, if I worked at Arcade1up, honestly, I would probably bring out both versions. Just because everybody's not going to want to pay $1,000. Okay, you need to keep stuff, balanced. There's people that collect video games and collect all this mess. They got great jobs, $80,000 a year, $100,000 a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you got people that make $30,000 a year,
right?
They're not going to spend a G on an arcade machine.
Just credit cards.
Yeah,
got credit
Zahar,
cards.
Is Blitz something that you're personally excited about?
Blitz is Midway. I love anything Midway. Cruising USA is Midway. Blitz Midway. MK Midway, and they just have to make it online, and it's over also for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it's gonna be online. I mean, we talked about that last year, right?
Yeah,
because they were talking about timing, and the whole idea that they had to make sure that there was so much precision. The reason they were talking about lag and precision to be able to play that, but I don't think it has anything to do with native lag. It has to do with online. Like, you have to be a little bit more forgiving if the other person is saying, I'm going to tackle you, and in the game it has to have frame accuracy for certain specific moves. I think online
it's happening, though. I really don't think. Do you think it's happening? Because I've heard stories where it's impossible for this to come out unless they change the name from NFL Blitz to just name it Blitz and take that logo out. I mean, take that license out.
You just proved it's not impossible because you just came up with the solution.
I mean, I thought, look, they took off Pacina, right?
There you go.
Why can't they take off the NFL logo and just make it call it Blitz? And that's your arcade machine. Watch, everyone at Arcade1up is like, who told them? Who told them? No, this is just my idea, right? And so I think people will be happy with Blitz. Who remembers 1994 a roster? I mean, is that really that important? Now I'm going to get some slack, but who remembers the roster? Who really pays attention to that? It's just like, we just want to play Blitz online. We want to murder each other online. It's going to be fun online, and that's it. Make it Blitz. You don't have to have an NFL license.
That's interesting.
Just
remove the NFL. Could you
get
away with
They
that?
removed the Sega logo on an Outrun cap.
That's a good point.
Right? They removed Pacina. Remove NFL. Give us Blitz, and case closed.
No, that's an interesting point.
Well, you remember when they came out with the NBA Jam Arcade1up, and then they had to remove a lot of the characters in there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. See.
But
right.
I guess NBA was a little bit, more easy. But yeah, like you said, Zohar, is that just remove the NFL, because I think the NFL is worried about because of all the fighting in NFL.
Yeah.
I think
so
that's
you detach them from the problem, huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
Just say screw them and
just put generic characters. You don't need the roster. Who the hell remembers these rosters?
Hey, they
anyway?
can put like Sub-Zero and Scorpion and
exactly.
Mortal Kombat.
Dude, it'll be
wow.
That's
Mortal
insane.
Kombat Blitz.
Hey, we're brainstorming. I love this.
Yeah, there you
this
go.
is pretty good.
I hope OneUp is listening. Watch tomorrow announcement. Blitz.
We figured out how to do it.
OneUp.
So here's my thoughts on it, though. But I think Blitz would be a lot of fun to do. But I'm curious if we're actually ever going to see a 4-player pro. That's an interesting combination, because a 4-player pro, is it going to look just like this, where, because if you look at that KI, right, and I think most about it, Twisted Chris, right, is you got the KI, you got the original. Now, do you think that pro version of KI control panel is pretty accurate to the real one in dimensions and size, at least from the pictures?
I think the buttons and the joysticks on the Pro KI is pretty close to the original. Now I know it's not going to be 28 inches in width. I know that ain't. I think we're only going to be gaining like maybe 3 inches top from the regular version on the control panel width. But if like that video I came out with showed all 3 control panels, and you can see on the $699 and the $1,000 one that the buttons and the joysticks on the Pro are spread out better. So that's one thing I can tell that they did on that, but we don't know the exact dimensions of it yet because it hasn't been released.
Yeah, that's true. Someone was mentioning that if you do Blitz, why not just reskin The Simpsons essentially to a Blitz? You got your 4-player control panel, you got your molded coin door. There you go. I mean,
they reskinned Defender, MK Legacy.
Yeah, I mean, I would prefer, like, if I wouldn't want the fin on the side though. This kind of sticks out. It needs to look more like the Midway, right? Like if you're not gonna make it look like the original, then at least make it look like the company Midway.
God, look at the cap. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
can you take it off the screen? Because I can't.
And see, that's one thing is the Mortal Kombat Legacy. I mean, it looks like a Midway cabinet. You know, the thing that makes the Killer Instinct Pro and the Mortal Kombat Legacy, the new cabinets, is the control panel looks like the original Midway, the way they are on the sides and how it sits. So they got that right because you know unfortunately the $699 Killer Instinct does not look like the original Killer Instinct control board or anything. You know, it don't have that look like the Pro does. But I mean, I'm impressed though with the Legacy one. It looks really good, and so does the KI Pro. I think that looks pretty amazing. Now, as we're on this topic, a lot of people, you know, says, "Oh my gosh, they put chrome T molding on there." Okay, but I will say this: I talked to a guy that talked to a guy that talked to a guy.
Yeah,
mentioned that chrome, and it wasn't his decision. So there's that. If the chrome stays, it stays. Tough crap, you know what I mean? I mean, I don't know, you know.
I think the chrome looks good.
Yeah, but see, a lot of people think that, you know, but then you got a lot of people that says it should be black like the original. But I mean, you know, you're gonna be playing the game. You're not gonna be licking the machine. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely not gonna be playing the game. That's for sure.
Okay, MK guy.
Yeah. So what do you guys think about, like, there's a lot of different cabinets that haven't came out yet, but have been, I guess I'm thinking of like, what about Dragon's Lair? What about Sinistar? Some of the Williams titles that, you know, that need that first class representation that have kind of been secondary games, or maybe Paperboy on Midway. Like, what if those became a pro line game, right?
Wow, Sinistar Pro?
Why not, right?
I don't know.
But okay, so give me your thoughts, since Zohar, like what type of
if they're
pro
gonna
cabinet? Give me another pick.
Oh, great! Maybe I shouldn't have said anything. Oh, I have one. Because, you know, staying true to their model, having like 3 games on average, they should do Robotron. Make it Robotron, Smash TV, Total Carnage, Pro. You're welcome, Michael. You're welcome, Michael B. So, yeah, have a Robotron, Smash, and Total Carnage Pro for $1,200. Mike B will sell all his stuff and get that. And then, you know, wife will be happy. Everyone will be happy. Not that his wife is not happy. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. But, you know, less space.
I agree on the Smash TV.
Right? It's a great game.
And it's a very, very, very rare game if you find the original. Very rare.
That's an interesting perspective to go with. Like, what if you're gonna pay $1,000 for a pro line, right? Maybe more, maybe less. What if you only release cabinets where those titles, like your KI, is probably worth $2,000 just for one? Is that right, Chris?
The first one, yes.
So, which cabinets at $1,000 would actually be worth it? Do you think, from a price point of view?
Oh man, I would say definitely like $1,000. NFL Blitz, 4-player.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be a hot seller.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But if they went with NFL Blitz, just scratch the regular version and just make the Pro. And if you want the Pro, you just buy the Pro. You know what I mean? Because even though some of the games, I think they need to make 2 versions of it, they're not. I don't see them doing every Pro a cheap version. Hold on a second. But another thing I will want to say about the Pro, I do not want to see a Simpsons Pro. Scratch that crap.
Yeah.
It's already been released. Get over it. Okay. And then next, I don't even want to see a Pac-Man Pro. Okay. Get over that and move on to another game. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Marvel versus Capcom 2 Pro, instant sell out.
Oh yeah. I mean,
instant.
That one would be insane. But I don't know. I kind of disagree with you a little bit. Like here's the thing. If they did a Pac-Man that was more like the original, that actually had the screen slanted.
Gross.
100% screen slanted. Not this crap, but this. Like more like the original. I think Pac-Man. That would be worth it. It's probably going to happen. Or how about this? What about there's these other cabinets that are out there like this one, the Pixel Bash. What if the Pro version was like a Pac-Man Pixel Bash, right? It had these set of games on it, which is a good set, a larger set of games. It's $1,000. And so instead of $3,000 for 32 games, they break it and say, no, we're going to give you the same thing for $1,000. Same set of games, same screen tilted back, and then but it looks more like this.
No more Pac-Man.
No more Pac.
If they make
no more,
Pac-Man
enough
Pro,
is enough.
I am not going to talk to John D no more.
Well, they're doing.
Oh, you know they're going to make a Pac-Man Pro. My gosh, they're probably going to make 5 of them.
You know, if they delay the MK30th and I can't get it on GameStop or whatever, and they're like, look, we gotta release the Pac-Man. We'll delay the MK. We have to make our money somehow. They're gonna release the Pac-Man Pro, 5 of them, and then MK Anniversary comes out in next year. But because we gotta release the Pac-Man, I guarantee you, they hate me so much over there at 1UP. I guarantee you they're gonna do something like that. Well, just out of spite.
Since they made the KI Pro, they're gonna do a Mortal Kombat Pro and a Street Fighter Pro. In time, they're going to do it because how are they going to say no Pro to Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter when they did KI? I mean,
that's right.
They could be testing the market too.
What I mean?
I feel like they're testing the market too. They want to see who's going to buy the KI Pro, who's going to pay, $1,000+ for an Arcade1up machine, and if it works, and we have a lot of sales, let's try the next Pro model. They're probably going to go next with Street Fighter. Because it's John D. He's partial to Capcom, so he's going to go Street Fighter. Then he's going to go to MK.
I think they will sell out of the KI Pro. Here's the reason why. I know you probably don't know this so hard, but I do. Okay. There is a ton of KI community, big community. I mean, there's forums and forums. There was a documentary of KI, right? 1 million views. Okay, and then plus you got Maximilian Dude. All his followers, big community in KI. So let's just say if they released the KI Pro and they only, I don't know how many they're going to do, but let's say if they made 2,000 of them, they're good. They're sold out. They're gone.
Yeah, you're probably right.
They will be gone because not many people know this either. Killer Instinct 1, the actual arcade machine, there was only 17,000 of them produced in 94. Okay. Now, right now, currently, there's a little over only 1,400 of them registered. So we don't know how many are still out there of the original cabinet. See what I'm saying? So, I mean, if you want an original KI, they're hard to find. just like the Mortal Kombat cabinets, they are hard to find.
Yeah.
And do you want to, mess with a 400-pound arcade? I don't. That's why I hired 4 people to come hand lift mine up to the game room. I don't move.
See,
you know what I'm gonna do?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get the KI countercade when they inevitably make that for $229. You know they're gonna make the Killer Instinct countercade. They're gonna make a partycade, a babykade. I bet you they make a Blitz countercade too. You have to follow the pattern of 1UP. They did it with NBA Jam. They're gonna do the same thing.
That's true.
When Blitz is eventually released, it'll be a countercade.
Yeah,
so.
You're right. You're right. All right, so we gotta. David says I'd pay $1,200 today for a Pro with Pac and Miss Pac-Man on the same cabinet. That's interesting.
That's
if they finally
gross.
do it, they put both games, Pac-Man and Ms. Pac-Man, on the same cabinet. That's a Pro line. Okay, that's an interesting one. That's definitely.
They'll never do it. Why not just do one Pac-Man Pro and one Miss Pac-Man Pro? They love separating it.
Yeah,
they love separating it.
That's true.
So they can make. They're not going to leave money on the table like that.
Those in the chat, put your pick. So start your comment with the word pick, and then which cabinet you want to see as your Pro version. Which one are you salivating for? And then we'll read that in the chat. Until then, I think we want to talk about. I don't know. Are you guys in, like Zohar? Are you into the pinball? I know you didn't buy one, but is that something you'll ever see yourself getting?
Not really.
And what if they came out with a pro line for
MK pinball? I don't care.
Hey, how about Street Fighter pinball?
No, I don't do pinball. I don't like looking, playing with any balls but my own.
What about you, Chris? Like, are you into any of the Zen Studio stuff or?
Yeah, I play a lot of that on my Nintendo Switch.
I see. Yeah.
Now, I want to see a Pro pinball just to see what it's going to be like. Is it going to be a bigger screen or something? The reason why I want to see one is because I've been curious and I've been wanting a digital pinball machine. There's a few different people that. There's a lot of people that make them or whatever, and they're custom to order, right? And they're about $4,000, but they'll custom do it, and it's like a 40-inch play field, and the back is 32-inch, and it's like 4K play field, right?
Yeah.
And it comes with like 800 pinball tables on it.
Right.
It's about $4,000, which I don't have a problem paying that. But the deal is I want to see if 1UP comes up with something before I do.
Yeah.
That. But
I wonder if they
$1,200 though.
Would they go 4K though? Would they? I don't know.
1UP, no.
Yeah.
No, I don't see that happening.
So let's give this a shot, guys. Let's try this out. So we're gonna go through the comments from the community. Could I get a thumbs up, thumbs down, or yay, nay if you would pick up any of their picks? I think we know Chris's comment on this already. Star Wars, I would do Star Wars. What do you guys think? Yay, nay? Chris?
Oh, you're asking us? Oh,
yeah, what do you guys think? I'm going to go through the list and you give us a thumbs up, thumbs down.
Star Wars trilogy is a no-brainer. They have to release it. Thumbs up. And they will. So.
All right, Marvel versus Capcom. Is that a thumbs up, thumbs down for...
You don't
think so?
Oh, if they're gonna release it, or if I like it. Oh, you're.
If you like it, would you get it? Not your.
I have a Dreamcast. I'm good.
AVP. I think 19K Fox has been talking about AVP for a while, but that's a no for me. What do you guys think? I need some engagement from you, Chris.
Oh, Marvel versus Capcom 2? I'd probably get that. Yeah.
What about AVP?
Oh, Alien versus Predator crap?
Yeah.
Wow. 19K Fox is going to be so mad at you.
That's all right. I got more followers than him. No, I'm just kidding. No, but what I'm saying is this.
What are you talking about, Chris? You only have 783 subscribers to your channel. We've gone through this.
Hey, look, I just lost 800. Damn. Just kidding. No, but I like the movies and stuff, but I don't really play the games, when it comes to that stuff. Like,
I'm not a beat 'em up either. I don't like the beat 'em up. Like the final fight is fine, but it's so repetitive. TMNT, it's just repetitive. You play it one time, you're done. Simpsons, you're done. Final fight, done. I don't like the beat 'em up stuff. There's more replay value when it's like an actual fighting game and there's strategy involved, and you have to, there's no strategy in beat 'em ups. You're just like smashing the buttons for an hour, then all of a sudden the credits roll. Oh, we're done? Cool. I don't like it. It's just too boring for me.
It's sometimes part of the fun. I don't know.
Well, see, I agree with you on that, because, like, if you buy the Simpsons, how much was it? $500 or $600?
$6.99. Yeah.
You gotta play that twice. Okay.
Maybe.
It's the sledgehammer. Maybe. Because I mean, you've already played the game. You know what I mean? I played it in the arcades back in the day, and I have a big retro arcade down the road. I can go down there and play the Simpsons and be done with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wouldn't get halfway through.
Yeah, so the replay value.
Maybe that's why they added the bowling.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I never actually played that.
So we got. Let's see. Let me just do this. Hold on. All right, so we got Marvel versus Capcom 2, but he says no to Pac-Man. Crumb is all about pick Daytona. We got Blitz, Xevious, Pinball. A lot of people have been commenting about the Pinball, and I think it's, we haven't really heard anything, and now that they're releasing Pro, maybe Pro is just a 32-inch, I'm not really sure, but maybe they'll bump it up a little bit more. Dragon's Lair is another one that's on the fence, right? That one, they came out with it, they announced it, but they backpedaled, and now they're doing alphanumeric display. Well, that will be a Pro version, or is it a Legacy, or is it just a brand new?
I think they're canning that. I think they canned that whole space.
Are you serious?
Dragon. I think so, because iArcade already went up, started it. They have it. And they have it in their store. And I think, you know what? iArcade is doing it. We want to do something different. We don't want to copy anybody. I think because iArcade got there first, they have other priorities like Blitz, like Daytona, like Star Wars Trilogy, like all other games. I doubt they care anymore about Dragon's Lair.
I would agree that they're probably putting it, they shifted down a little bit, but John did say that, the guy in Hong Kong had to spend a lot of time to be able to locate the alphanumeric display to try to find someone. I think they're doing it. But Chris, what do you think about a Sega Astro Cities cabinet? I mean, is that something that...
Man. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Candy cab.
Right.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That's another thing I've been wanting for a long time, is a candy cab, and those are pretty rare too.
Just a real one, right?
Yeah, a real one. Now, the funny thing is yesterday I watched that documentary Insert Coin.
Yeah.
About Midway Games and all that stuff. So now I slept on it. Now I want to sell like all my heavies when it comes to like my retro console gaming stuff.
Really?
I need to make about 50, 60 grand. And then I'm going on a original arcade hunt for all the Midway crap.
Really?
Yeah. So
what's your top Midway cab that you want to get, or at least for sure you want to get?
Gosh, let's see. I already got Ultimate. Okay, well, what I want to do is I want to get the dedicated MK1 and MK2 cab. I already got the Ultimate 3 and the MK4, so I just need those two. Let's see, NFL Blitz, I already got that. Jam, Killers. I'm trying to think. I already got Cruising.
Damn, man, you got everything I want. It's crazy.
Well, I do have an original MK1 cabinet in storage, but it was somebody made it into a multi-cab. They paint over the sides and put a flat screen in it, but it does have the structure, but I don't know if I want to spend the time on it. I'm trying to think on the top of my head what other Midway cabs I was looking for.
NHL 3-on-3 ice, whatever it's called.
Yeah, that would probably be one of them.
Yeah.
Some of the sit-down games I would go after. I would get Virtual Fighter 1 and 2. I had my chances a couple of years ago, and I screwed up. And they were nice too, though.
What
we
about?
forgot about the Virtua Fighter stuff because they have the license. So, and there's like 6 games for Virtua Fighter. I'm surprised they don't have Virtua Fighter yet.
I think Virtual Fighter 2 was probably one of the best ones they did. I mean, it was so good in the arcade. You know, Virtual Fighter 1, you know, the graphics were, But when they brought out 2, I was blown away.
Yeah.
But see, I got that on the Sega Saturn, though. So, even though it ain't that great, but.
Will be good online, though.
Tell me your thoughts, Zohar, on this with the...
what is that? Oh, God.
Moonwalker.
I love Michael Jackson. You know me.
I know
all your songs, and I always tell you to sing a Michael Jackson. I have that on the Bobby Voo. No need.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
I see. But if they came out with a genuine cabinet, would you? I guess you could just buy a poster, right?
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't. That would be like $1,500. I would never do it. I love Michael, but not. I don't want to. No, I'm good. It's a beat 'em up too.
Yeah, in the end, right?
So I'll be done with it in like 30 minutes.
That's a $300 cabinet from 1UP right there if they bring out that junk.
Yeah.
So JJ is with the Robotron, Battlezone, Smash TV, other dual stick games. Rainwater with the pick is the Pro Line. What is this word here? The Basconian? I've never heard that. Anyway, Beavis and Butthead Arcade Pro Line.
Wow, dude.
I didn't even know that's a game.
Don't give him any ideas.
Was that in the arcade? I don't remember.
I don't remember that. It says rare canceled Beavis and Butthead arcade game.
I think he thinks the show is for iArcade, and that should be in the iArcade store. No offense, Jeff. I love you, Jeff, but you know that's not.
That was donuts.
That's an iArcade game.
I see. Yeah, there we go. Then we got CT Jason with the Midway Blitz Gauntlet Legends Pro line. I can't do his voice. Andrew,
can't.
of course, he wants to do. What's that?
Nothing.
You can't do his voice?
No, I said I can, but I don't want to.
Oh, wait. No, do it. Come on.
Hey, it's CT Jason. Okay, whatever.
You got it, dude. That's pretty good. All right. Jason, this other Jason's Donkey Kong, but he knows it's never going to happen. Street Fighter 2, which we all know is going to happen.
Yeah.
And along with MK, right? Like, if it's a fighter, it's coming. It's got to be coming Pro Line. Like, what other big fighter have they done that's got to come? I guess maybe if they bring X-Men back.
Pit Fighter.
I don't know if they'll do that, though.
Tekken would be a good one if they could do it.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, that was a very popular game, too.
I was joking about Pit Fighter. They're never doing Pit Fighter.
Oh,
God. And 19K Fox, I don't know if he's listening, but they're never going to do Primal Rage, okay? They will never do it.
I hope not.
It won't sell. I know he loves it, but
it's a bad game. The controls were bad. When you played Primal Rage, it just didn't work like Street
very
Fighter
bad.
And Mortal Kombat.
One of the moves is one of the dinosaurs farts on you. That's a move. I was done after that.
If anybody wants a Primal Rage, you really want a Primal Rage, come to Dallas, Texas. There's an original right now for $1,200.
$1,200?
Yeah, that's too much.
Primal Rage.
I would get it for 50 bucks.
I really want to buy it just to piss off people that want it.
Wow. I wouldn't want it for 50 bucks.
Yeah.
I'm not farting on my character. So
I remember when I think it was Primal Rage came out, the commercial. I think I even remember when I was a kid. Must have been like 13 years old. I did like a Primal Rage. We made a movie that was like we were the commercial, and it was like it's in the arcade, man. It's in the arcade. Do you remember that commercial? I don't know. Was it Primal Rage or was it Killer Instinct? I can't remember which game it was. It was basically like the kids swearing, but they're bleeping in the commercial and covering his mouth. He's like, it's in the arcade, man. It's arcade. And it was basically a commercial trying to get people to go to the arcade to play this game, but it was also available like on.
You know what? Speaking of fighters, I'm very surprised that 1UP hasn't touched on SNK or Neo Geo. I'm very surprised they don't have Neo Geo games at all.
I just think Unico, I just think has that license for the next however long, and then once that contract is up, then they're gonna be all over it. I'm sure.
Yeah, there's some good fighting games on that system. They could do a Pro line, Neo Geo Pro.
Boom.
That
there
would
you
be
go.
Samurai Showdown. That would be insane.
I wonder if they would do with 12 games. So here's one for you, Chris. Here's something that I wonder if you would actually get. Pro line, because I know you have a lot of mostly full-size arcades, but you still have some. Like, are you going to replace like your Golden Tee or something? Or do you have a real Golden Tee?
Yeah, I got a real Golden Tee, the 2021. Okay. I can't replace that just because it's too much money into that thing. I mean,
right. So here's my thought. But what about the light gun games? Like, do we need a pro light gun games? We talked about pro racers, but pro light gun game, right?
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna come up with that before you said that because I was thinking about it earlier. If they did a light gun game, they need to do House of the Dead and just give people what they want. That's the number one. House of the Dead. Because here's the thing, and you're gonna pay $1,200 for that for the pro, because even the Sega Saturn House of the Dead you can't buy no more. Go look on eBay right now. You cannot buy it. Not the US version. A year ago, I paid $300 just for the disc of that game.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's rare.
See, that's an interesting one where the value of the Arcade1up goes up because it's rare, difficult, or expensive to get it as a full size. That's an interesting one. And the one that's in my area that I see it's actually Tron. And so we talked about it before. Like they re-released KI as a pro, but I don't think they're going to re-release Tron as a pro because Tron is like halfway pro or something like that. It's not a 19-inch, but it is pretty big.
How big can they make it? You know, like
yeah. I was thinking about that, like how they've separated the pieces on the new cabinet, right? I wonder if they're still able to fit it in that 48-inch box, or if they're going larger. And how large could they actually go?
I mean, it's large enough. I mean, you got your blue and purple nightlight. It's big enough. You got the Tron. The whole point of that cab is just nostalgia. You don't need it to be any bigger. We get it. You go into your arcade gallery, you see it. Oh my God, that's Tron. I remember Tron. The end. Nobody's playing that game. It's there for looks, for aesthetics. That's it. Do you need it bigger? It's big enough. Come on.
All right.
No one's buying a pro model of a Tron.
Well, see that I don't think they should do a pro model of Simpsons either. You know, the one like the Simpsons, the 4-player X-Men. I don't think they need to do a pro of that. They've already released it. You know, and what was it, $600 or $700? You know, let's move on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like the pro, like if they come out with the Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, you know, those are a given. Those are the main three. You know, because of KI and stuff.
They have to.
But other than that, I don't really know what they're going to do pro. Maybe a racing game and a shooter. That's what they need to do, a racing game and a shooter for the pro line.
There you go. Nice. So we know that fighters, they're already doing a fighter. We think that other ones are going to be a fighter. We got Golden Tee is kind of leaked as from a retailer that it's coming. But you made me think, like, Arcade1up did something interesting this year where they made like commercials. And Twisted, you sent me this commercial. It made me think about it. So you're saying this is one of the MK3 arcade commercial is pretty amazing. We'll play this in the background while we're talking here.
Oh, I have it memorized. I know this one.
Is that right?
No, I'm just joking.
But what if Arcade1up did a better job at making these commercials, because they had like Kenan Thompson and but then they get these guys to come in and film for these commercials. But what if they could really pull on our heartstrings if they tried to recreate the commercials, right?
Midway was so good. Midway was so good with commercials. You should see the Killer Instinct arcade commercial. They had somebody sawing it in half with a chainsaw. It was nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a great idea. Do like a remix of old commercial that we remember. It's a good idea.
Right. I wonder if they could get away with that. Imagine they take the real, let's say they did MK3, right? And then they just basically try to recreate this commercial, but it's using their hardware, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I have an idea. You know that really nostalgic commercial with Mortal Kombat where there's a kid in the street and he's like, Mortal Kombat. He's in the middle of the street and a bunch of kids are. We should get me, you, Ralph, all the YouTubers and like running in the street and screaming Mortal Kombat like in that old commercial. That would be fun.
So in other words, like if they won't do it, we'll just recreate the commercial. Well, I think Ralph had that idea a while back. He was saying when they come out with Frogger, they should do the Seinfeld episode.
Oh my God, yeah.
You know,
George
where
Costanza.
they're trying to cross the street with the Frogger.
That's funny. It's a good episode.
Yeah, that's a good episode. So anyway, let's jump into the final thoughts of this episode. Out of everything that we've discussed, I think there's some interesting things. For me, I think we need Pac-Man. I don't care what you guys think, but I would totally buy the Pac-Man.
For $1,200 or $1,000?
I would pay maybe $8.99, like kind of lower.
I saw you struggle a little bit there.
No, it's not.
Hey, look at it. Like right after that video, Chris, it took me to yours.
Whoops.
It's like if you like Mortal Kombat, you got to check out Chris's show. Anyway, but I think honestly I need Street Fighter. I already own Gen 1. I own Big Blue. And if they do KI treatment on the Street Fighter 2, I'm going to buy it.
Yeah.
See,
what's your takeaway, Chris?
That's another thing on the Street Fighter. I want them to do a Street Fighter Pro. And would I buy it? Yes, I would. The reason why is because I've always wanted a Street Fighter authentic cabinet, right? But that's another one that's very hard to find. And if you do find them, they're not that great condition.
Yeah.
And plus, you know, it'd have 5-6 games, 14, I guess. But they need to do a Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat Pros. And if they do that, everybody will be happy. You got your Killer, you got your Street Fighter, you got your MK right beside, and bam.
They shouldn't have those same games, though. They really shouldn't. That's already insulting. If they do the Street Fighter Pro, add Alpha to it. Add Street Fighter 3. Add Street Fighter 3. You don't have to give us all 3 Street Fighter 3s or all 3 Alphas. Give us one. Give us a little taste. Don't rehash it all over again. You know, that's my thing.
I would imagine they would do that because there's a lot of people that have the Big Blue. And then if you're playing a whole bunch of people on the Big Blue, but you get the Pro version of the Street Fighter, but so you're playing, you know, Champion Edition and Hyper and stuff like that against people. And then you're like, hey, let's hop over and play this game. Oh, sorry. You don't have that game. It would probably upset a lot of people.
Oh, you're right.
But knowing Arcade1up, that's exactly what they'll do. So try to get the people to rebuy, you know, the Pro version.
The only way they'll rebuy a Pro version, add something that we don't already have, and there you go. Add an Alpha 3. I guarantee you, everyone's going to want to play Alpha 3.
Yeah.
So,
what concerns me about all of this is the whole idea that there's a lot of people that are thinking about rebuying all of their cabinets. I was thinking about Michael B. and how think of how much money he's had to have spent in the last couple years.
Dude, he's getting a Frogger Pro. I promise you. I promise you.
But I'm thinking, like, it's weird how we think about these things. Like, I'll decide, like, I'm sitting there debating whether to get, like, Duracell versus, you know, like, the other brand or whatever, Energizer. And I'm like, oh, this one's a little more expensive. And I'm splitting hairs over, like, 50 cents. Right? But in the next thought, I'm like, oh, I totally am going to get an OLED TV. And I bought an OLED TV. It's like a $1,600 TV. And it was like, did a little bit of research and I bought it. Right. And because, you know, I wanted that television. And so it's weird how we'll do this thing where like, we won't spend that extra money on like I have a hard time like buying a game for Switch because it's $10 or $50. But I'll go ahead and pick up Tempest for $350. It's like I think of how many Switch games I could have got, but I'm like, no, I'm not going to buy that.
Everyone is making such a big deal about Nintendo Switch, online, $50 a year. God forbid you spend $50 a year for hundreds and hundreds of games. Yeah, but please, here's $1,000 for one game. Give me a break.
Yeah, what's interesting is like, is someone going to buy all 4 Pro lines? That's just $4,000 this year, you know, and then next year they're going to come out with 10. It's $10,000 next year.
I got something
that's crazy.
To make a point with what we're talking about.
All right. So Zohar, while Chris is coming back here, what's your thoughts on what cab What's your takeaway from the show? Was there anything?
This is what's going to happen. Here's
Okay.
my crystal ball. My Zoltar machine is, as you will. They're going to have a Blitz cab. It's not going to be NFL. The license, the logo is going to be gone. It's just going to be Blitz. They're going to have a Blitz partycade, Blitz countercade, Blitz babycade. It's just going to be Blitz all over the place. Okay. And then they're going to have the MK Pro. I think they're going to release it after the Street Fighter Pro, just to piss me off. That's all. But not that I'm even going to get it. I have no desire at all to get the Pro. But that Blitz thing is coming, and that NFL thing is not going to be there. Remember, I said that.
All right. So what do you got, Chris? What's this thing you want to show us?
So you know how everybody complains about prices and this and that. You know, you don't want to pay $700 or $1,000 a cab, but you'll go buy your wife a $900 purse she puts crap in or whatever. Or you'll be like me and buy something stupid like this. Okay. These are Versace slippers, right? I've only worn them one time, and these are $500 for slippers.
$500.
And I've only put them on one time.
Is that the Pro line?
Is
that the Pro line?
Pro line right here.
Nice.
There it is, Ultra Pro line. That's their next series. You just cracked it.
Oh my God!
It's coming.
Ultra. The Pro Series 2.
Pro Series.
The Pro Series 2.
Yeah, we're already at Legacy V2, and I remember when that came out, I was really curious about if if Legacy Gen 2 would be very different than Legacy Gen 1, and it is. Like, you take a look at this guy. I mean, I don't even know why they're calling it Legacy. Is that just an excuse for them saying we acknowledge that we've already released it? But like, this is currently the definitive MK.
Yep.
Right? Like, and I think this is the thing we're going to get from Arcade1up. They're never actually going to release anything that's perfectly definitive. Like, it's kind of like that. I'm surprised if they'll ever do Ms. Pac-Man on the same cabinet.
Yeah.
Because that would be too perfect. Like, you can't. They can't, I should say.
They're like it's like a relationship. You leave the date wanting more. You don't put out all, and then you're just not interested anymore. You gotta give them a little bit, so then they want more, so then they ask you out on the next date.
Is that what you do, Zohar? Is that working for you?
That's exactly what I do, and it's not working for me. But yeah, this is like a relationship. We'll give you a little bit, leave you wanting more. That's their whole model. We'll leave you wanting just a little more.
But that's a business, though, too.
Yeah, they're good at it. They're great at it, actually.
I'm trying to figure out how Arcade1up did this over the couple of years. Where, like, how did they get to the point where they could build a cabinet in 2018 that was, I think my first one was $225, and now we're actually talking about spending $1,000 on one cabinet from this
crazy. It's so crazy. What's next year? 1,200, 1,500 base model. What's next? This is insanity.
Chris, how high do you think they could actually go?
As much as we enable them to go.
Yeah, I want to say that $1,000. I've said this before. $1,000 ones are going to be pretty much fighting games. $1,200 ones are going to be special ones like racing games and stuff. But I honestly do not see Arcade1up going past the 1,200 mark. I mean, that is when you start getting nuts. Like, say if they came out with a $1,500 one, I think the only thing you could probably do with a $1,500 one is Star Wars. But
yeah,
1,500, I'd have to call it a day.
Yeah, Brian says, we're the frogs in the slowly boiling water. Jeez. Yeah.
That's way too much money.
Unless they start doing multicades, it gives people a reason to sell everything. Maybe this is their plan all along. Buy a lot of shit, and then eventually sell everything, so then we can afford the Pro models, which will have every game anyway, and it'll become a multicade. Not completely multicade, but like the Street Fighter Pro will have 20 games, let's say. MK Pro will have 20 games. Killer Instinct Pro. Oh, wait. But the Killer Instinct Pro has like 2 games. Okay. Scratch that theory. Never mind.
But see,
I am incorrect.
But see, once you start touching $1,500, you don't
Mhm.
need Arcade1up anymore, because there's people that build multicades for, you know, $1,200 and maybe a little up depending what you want hyperspin, because that's a little pricey and everything. But then Arcade1up is gone once you hit that number. There's too much competition then, because people will just build what you want then for $1,500.
Yep. So true. Well, we hit our hour, guys, so thank you so much for hanging out with us here on this special edition with a guest of Twisted Chris. Thank you, Twisted, so much for hanging out, and thank you, Console Fanboy, for hanging out, which also just broke 900 subscribers. But here's the thing, using Twisted Chris's math, you've already broke 1,000 subscribers, because the number of watchers that you have is 10,000 on some of your videos. So, but anyway, those in the chat, give Zohar some love. If you've ever watched his content and you like it, hit subscribe. And if you don't like it, thumbs down this video, and then go find all of his videos and thumbs down all those as well to prove that you hate Zohar. Anyway, we'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.
Thanks.
See you.